Here, thank you. Would you all please rise and join me in the saying of our pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next item is item 4, which is the approval of the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting dated July 1st, 2025. Are there any questions, comments, or suggested edits for the clerk on these minutes? If not, board would like a motion to approve the minutes from the trustee meeting on the Board of Trustees meeting July 1st. Do I ask that your motion, please? So moved. Seconded by Trustee Schaller, seconded by Trustee Hayes. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Hayes?
Yes.
Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Schaller?
Yes.
Trustee Schalmoser?
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn?
Yes.
And President Burke?
Yes, thank you. Next item, President remarks. We've got a very exciting program for you tonight. Lots of people here. It's fun. We have more people than we normally see on a given night. So first order of business that we have tonight is we will be swearing in the newest trustee to the board here in the village of Lake Barrington. So Brenda Brainerd, would you please step forward, and Rebecca Harrington, our clerk, is going to administer the oath.
I, Brenda Brainerd,
I, Brenda Brainerd,
have been appointed to
having been appointed to
the office of village trustee
the office of village trustee
in the village of Lake
in the
Barrington,
village of Lake
in
Barrington,
the county of Lake,
in the county of Lake,
after said, do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of village trustee according to the best of my ability.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of village trustee according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. And now, Brenda, we kindly ask that you come and take a seat up here at the dais with the rest of us. And I'd just like to inform you there's no turning back now. You're in. And I do thank you very much for your interest in participating in village government. And I'm confident, as are my colleagues around the dais, that you're going to make a tremendous contribution to the board. So, welcome, and thank you for your interest in serving the village. At this point, I would ask the clerk, we need to recall the roll. With Trustee Brainerd seated, please.
Trustee Hayes?
Present.
Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Schaller?
Yes.
Trustee Schalmoser?
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn?
Yes.
Trustee Brainerd?
Yes.
And President Burke?
Here, thank you very much. So, staying on the theme, we now have another exciting event where we are going to be swearing in a new plan commissioner to the Zoning Board of Appeals. So at this point, I'd like to ask Rob Jones to come forward, please. Oh, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. We need to take a roll. We need to take a vote on Rob's appointment. So I need to do that first. So we're going to do that right now. So Chair would like a motion to appoint Rob Jones as the Planning Commission by Trustee Perkins.
Second.
And seconded by Trustee Van Ryn. Could I have a clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brainerd?
Aye.
Trustee Hayes?
Yes.
Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Schaller.
Yes.
Trustee Schalmoser.
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn.
Yes.
And President Berg.
Yes, thank you. That would have been really embarrassing had that had not gone that way. So thank you, Rob, for standing there while we visualize that. Now it's appropriate for the clerk to administer the oath. And you hit the button there.
I, Robert M. Jones,
I, Robert M. Jones,
have been appointed to the office of Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals in the Village of Lake Barrington,
have been appointed to the office of Planning Commission Zoning Board of Appeals in the Village of Lake Barrington and the County of Lake.
in the County of Lake, aforesaid.
In the County of Lake, aforesaid.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals according to the best of my ability.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Planning Commission Zoning Board of Appeals according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. So while Rob is signing, Rob is joined by his wife Danielle and their 3 boys, looking spiffed up, cleaned up, with their hair nicely tonight. Well done. And I want to say specifically thank you to the family. Thanks for lending us your husband and your dad for the service to this village, and we may take him away a few nights a month and other things, but we won't be too hard on him at this point. But we appreciate you sharing him with us. I know he's a busy guy and must be busy with that family as well. And Rob, we really do appreciate you stepping forward, and we know that you will do a great job on our planning commission. And also at this time, Mark Zesch could not be here, but Mark is the one stepping away from the planning commission after 17 years of service on the planning commission. And we will be honoring him next month with a proclamation for his service to the community. But I wanted to make sure people understood that Mark had agreed to step down and make room for Rob to join the group. So congratulations to you, Rob, and thank you. We look forward to working with you and having your contribution to the board. Thank you all for being here tonight to help us celebrate this as well. So thank you. All right, let's keep it rolling. Next item on here under President's remarks, I usually have so little to say, is that I would like to take this moment to both thank Trustee Hayes for the tremendous work that he's been doing in his capacity with the board, as well as aptly, ably filling in for me in the times that I'm not available. And he's done a few meetings on my behalf, and he's done them fabulously. And I felt that it was important to establish Rich as what we would call Mayor Pro Tem, someone who can act in my stead if I'm available, if I'm not here, if I cannot run meetings, etc. So tonight we are simply going to take that action and formalize that action so that you will be the stand-in for me when I'm unavailable. So with that said, the board would like a motion to appoint Trustee Rich Hayes as Mayor Pro Tem. Do I have such a motion? Moved by Trustee Schaller and seconded by Trustee Schalmoser. Would clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brannert.
Yes.
Trustee Hayes.
Yes.
I knew you could do it.
I wasn't sure.
You're allowed. You're
I
allowed.
was wondering if I wanted to vote for myself.
Trustee Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee Schaller.
Yes.
Trustee Schalmoser.
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn.
Yes.
President Berg.
And a hearty yes, and thank you, seriously, and thank you for making yourself available and filling in so ably in my absence. Next is item 6, which is the opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda-related items. That does not include those who are here with a specific agenda item that we will be covering, but if there's anyone, does anyone seek recognition at this point to speak on an agenda-related item? Okay, we do not see anyone. So in the interest of those who are here, we are going to pull up item number 13, ordinance many pages back on page 6. Item 13, ordinances A and B, because we have some folks that are here representing those interested in the beer event. It's our custom to not necessarily want to keep people here all night, so we move those items up so we can have them participate in that part of the meeting. So at this point, we're going to move to agenda item 13A, which is consideration of ordinance granting zoning variations. RE property of John and Sharon Geocaris, co-trustees of the John C. Geocaris and Sharon A. Geocaris. Is it Lizzie or Lysing? Am I saying that?
Living.
Oh, it's a living will. Living trust. I was very questioning that. I didn't know if it was listing, living, but thank you for correcting. The motion will note that change as well. Thank you for clarifying. That makes a lot more sense to me. Living trust dated October 24th, 2024 at 26844 West Lakeview Drive South. Sharon, would you like to set this one up?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, President Burke. At the July 24th, 2025 Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, the Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals granted the zoning variation to petitioners John and Sharon Geocaris in order to permit the installation of a shed, which would be approximately 8 feet wide and 10 feet long and located on the south side of the property. The property is a corner lot, which would mean that the shed would be located in both the front yard setback, the side yard setback, as well as the corner yard setback. The Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals met on Thursday, July 24th, 2025, and recommended that the zoning variation be approved and presented at the August 5th, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting. Based on the recommendation of the Plan Commission ZBA, there are practical difficulties and particular undue hardships resulting from the zoning regulations for the property. The physical surroundings, shape, or topographical conditions of the property cause a hardship to place the shed on the property in following the actual zoning code. The conditions which the request for zoning variation are unique to this property. There will not be a detriment to the adjacent properties, and the installation of the proposed shed is a reasonable use, and the variations requested are the minimum adjustment necessary for the such use.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this from the board, or would there be an advantage to any questions of petitioners on this? Or does anyone have a question for anyone? Do the petitioners have anything they want to add at this point in time? Feel free to come up and turn the mic on if you would, and just reintroduce yourself and whatever you are for the record.
I'm John Geocaris. I think I was here in front of most of you about 2 months ago. So again, thank you for your time and appreciate your support in approving this. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them, or I'm happy to kind of go through the whole thing that I went through a while back.
Any questions? No questions. Thank you for being here, both of you. Thank you for everything and making yourselves available.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So with that said, Chair would like a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-0-180, an ordinance granting zoning variations, RE property of John and Sharon Geocaris, co-trustees of the John C. Geocaris and Sharon A. Geocaris living. Let the record note that we are making a change
In the text of the
in
ordinance.
the text of the ordinance. Thank you. Trust dated October 21st, 2024 at 26844 West Lakeview Drive. Do I have such a motion, please? Moved by Trustee Perkins.
Second.
And seconded by Trustee Hayes with the roll. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brainerd.
Yes.
Trustee Hayes.
Yes.
Trustee Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee Schaller.
Yes.
Trustee Schallmoser.
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn.
Yes.
And President Burke.
Yes, thank you. So the ordinance has been approved. So thank you.
you.
Yes, you're very welcome. And thanks for being here tonight.
Great. Thank you very much. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you. Next item, 13B under ordinances is consideration of an ordinance granting a special use permit and variations to permit the installation of a solar canopy system, i.e. a ground-based solar energy system on the property at 28005 West Industrial Avenue, Lake Barrington, Illinois. Would you like to set this one, please?
Thank you, President Burke. At At the June 12th, 2025 Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, the Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals granted special use permit and zoning variation to Tagnet Development LLC, the owner of record, and Matson with Precision Products, Inc., the tenant on property located at 28005 West Industrial Avenue, Lake Barrington, to allow the petitioner to install a solar canopy system, a ground-based solar energy system to serve the property with solar power. The Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals met on Thursday, June 12, 2025, and recommended that the special use permit and zoning variation be approved and presented at the July Board of Trustees meeting. Before this item could go to the Board of Trustees, a few items were required. A letter from a structural engineer or licensed architect that indicated that the structure was strong enough to withstand the solar canopy, a survey showing a 15-foot setback, a decommissioning plan, which would also include either a surety bond, a letter of credit, or cash escrow for the decommissioning purpose. There were a few communications back and forth on receiving those items, so they did push to this meeting. Everything required was received in time for the August 5th, 2025 Village Board meeting. Before you this evening is an ordinance granting the special use permit and zoning variation. The proposed special use will not alter the essential character of the village. The conditions for the special use and variations are unique to this property. The roof on the existing building has limitations that would not allow for the solar energy system. The purpose of the special use is to generate on-site renewable energy to serve the subject property. The proposed special use for the installation and operation of a ground-based solar energy system on the subject property, subject to certain variations approved by the village and the conditions recommended, is a reasonable and proper use of the subject property, which would be consistent with the intent and the objectives of the Village of Lake Barrington zoning ordinance as amended. The maximum height of the proposed system as measured from the grade surface shall be permitted to be 20 feet, which exceeds the maximum height of 6 feet as permitted by the village's zoning ordinance. The petitioner shall not be required to submit a landscaping screening plan as otherwise required by the village's zoning regulations, and the system shall be constructed and installed at a location on the subject property in substantial compliance with the plans and specifications approved by the village, which may cause the system to be visible from certain village streets, which would otherwise be prohibited by the village's zoning regulations.
Thank you very much. It's my understanding that Mr. Dan Wendt is here tonight. Dan, would you like to come up and introduce yourself? We always like meeting a business owner here at the village. So
Yes.
please introduce yourself. Turn to hit the button so that, there you go. And do a quick introduction, maybe just a brief overview of your business so we feel like we know you and your business a little bit better
Sure.
before we vote on this specific issue.
Yeah, my name is Dan Matson. I'm the owner of Matson Witt. I bought it in 2019. We're a small machine shop that serves the water quality industry. So we make filtration parts, and it's an in-demand business. And we have started with 17 and now we're up to 24 employees full-time. We're a good place to work. People don't leave generally. So people like to work, and a lot of people have families and they want to work first shift and be home for their kids at night. So we have this interesting energy demand where it's all in the middle of the day when the sun's out. So it's going to be a good match, and we're pretty excited for solar to be a good, good fit for what we do in terms of energy savings. And when the whole world has air conditioning on, is when we're running. So anyway, we have a really nice opportunity to put in this solar. There's a slight time crunch with some of these incentives going away, and I'm really happy that Sharon was really helpful in getting bullets. You know how she operates. It's like, you need this, and this.
Yeah, we know how she
We know how she operates, and I'm like, okay, we'll get it. So, this is very new process for me. So I'm happy to be able to hopefully get it installed this winter or spring. So.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for introducing yourself. We're thrilled that you've chosen the Village of Lake Barrington to have your business, and thrilled to hear that you're employing that many people. That's super. That's good for us and good for you. So that's excellent. And I'm happy to hear that this is kind of a unique. We've talked walked through it today in our earlier meeting, kind of a unique application, trying to figure out how to make room for this and not take valuable space on the property, right? And I think you came up with a very kind of clever solution to that, and the Planning Commission seemed very, very amenable to what you were trying to do. So, but with that, I would always open this up to questions from any of the trustees. Does anyone have a question for Mr. Wynn at this point in time? Okay, well, no questions, so thank you again. If you turn that mic off as you exit, and we appreciate you being in our village, appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you.
With that said, Chair would like a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-0-19, an ordinance granting a special use permit and variations to permit installation of a solar canopy system, i.e. a ground-based solar energy system on the property of 28005 West Industrial Avenue in Lake Barrington, Illinois. Do I have moved by trustee Schaller,
Second.
seconded by trustee Brainerd. Wow, they had to think about that. And to think that former President Richardson used to look over there and have to see me. This is a big day, this is a big move up. Would the clerk please read the roll?
Trustee Brainerd.
Yes.
Trustee Hayes.
Yes.
Trustee Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee Schaller.
Yes.
Trustee Schalmoser.
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn.
Yes.
And President Burke.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, now we're going to move backwards on the agenda, and we're going to head back to item number 7. Excuse me, our consent agenda items. These items will be approved and heard in mass. We will read through this. I know that we may have a few folks here, right? We have Jeremy. Do we have Jeremy here? Jeremy there in the back. Great. No need for you to come up in case of questions, but thank you for being here. Jeremy represents D-Kind Computer, right here? Am I correct? Yes, very good. Thank you. Do I need to just read through all these? Or just the general titles? Okay. So, I guess the first question is, was there any additional discussion that needed to take place on any of these items? And we've had pretty thorough discussions on all of them. So if there's no need for further discussion, then yes, board would like a motion to approve in block. Agenda item A, consideration of agreement between the Village of Lake Barrington and D-Kind Computer Consultants Inc. for professional services in the amount of $15,120 per year. B, consideration of a smoke testing proposal from Duke's Root Control of South Elgin, Illinois in the amount of $22,000 for sanitary sewer smoke testing in the business park. C, consideration of a memorandum of understanding between the Joint Energy Telephone System Board, Emergency Telephone System Board of Lake County and the Village of Lake Barrington. D, consideration of an ordinance amending the Village of Lake Barrington Village Code and implementing a municipal grocery retailer's occupation tax and municipal grocery service tax for the Village of Lake Barrington. E, consideration of an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a contract with AMPS Power Solutions for consulting services to be provided to the Village of Lake Barrington relative to a proposed solar project. F, consideration of an ordinance establishing a special service area number 16 in the Village of Lake Barrington. G, consideration of an ordinance amending the Village of Lake Barrington Village Code of RE Title I, Administration, Section 110-7, fees, charges, and other amounts payable to the village, and Title 8, Zoning, Section 8-10-2, hearing required notice, Chapter 10, variances and special uses. And finally, H, consideration of an application for a temporary use special event for the Lake Barrington Countryside Park District Splash Pad Grand Reopening and 60th Anniversary. Do I have a motion, please? So, moved by trustee Van Ryn. Thank you. Seconded by trustee Schalmoser. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brainerd.
Yes.
Trustee Hayes.
Yes.
Trustee Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee Schaller.
Yes.
Trustee Schalmoser.
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn?
Yes.
And President Burke.
Yes, thank you. I am now going to take a breath, and I'm going to turn it over to our treasurer, Peggy Hirsch, for our treasury report.
I'll come up there next. It's like I'm a little kid at my mom's desk.
Yeah, we like you better up front and center.
Where I'm standing and looking up everybody. Okay.
Right.
All right, here we go. Okay, so before you tonight, we have the financial statements for the 2 months ended June 30, 2025. So we're 2 months into our fiscal year. And for the benefit of our new trustee, what we usually do is we review the flash report, which is kind of a summary of the key points on the balance sheet and income statement. That's basically the kind of the first page of the report. And I'll show that it shows that we have total assets of $3,658,000. We have liabilities of $414,000. We've got equity of $3,244,000. Our income for the 2 months, our revenue has been $1,086,000. Our expenses, $807,000. Giving a net income of $279,000. At this point last year, our net income was $72,000. And so we take what we look at, once again, for the benefit of our new trustee, we then break out some of the extraordinary items so we can kind of compare ordinary income to ordinary income from year to year. And just give us a sense how we're doing compared to last year. And you'll see we pull out some extraordinary items, and our regular operation net income at this point this year is $590,000 compared to last year, $434,000. And I usually do a kind of a quick review to see what the difference is. And it's pretty much isolating to sales tax at this point. So there was a new provision of the sales tax laws that were effective 1/1/2025, and it's bringing in a fair amount of new sales tax for the village. So that's the biggest difference at this point. I will look at page 13 and 14 and compare the actual to the budget, but I'd like to caution just about, we're 2 months into our year, so it's still a little early to make some real, judgment as to what's happening for the year. But at this point of the year, we're 29% budget to actual for our revenue, which is pretty good because we're only 2 months in. Sorry, I turned that page myself. 2 months in is about 17% of the year, so we're trending ahead of budget. And then on page 14, you can see that our expenses are 24% actual budget. So that's running a little bit ahead of budget. Some of the things that happen in the village are annual expenses, which we've paid. There's subscriptions here, subscriptions there, those type of things. So those are all paid up front. So that does skew things a little bit initially. But there's really nothing of concern to mention. I'm happy to, if anyone has any questions about the general fund, to answer any questions on that at this point. Okay, so we'll just keep moving on. Then page 15, which you'll see the motor fuel tax fund. And that fund has $718,000 in net assets in that fund, net current assets. The road work this year is only going to be $343,000, so plenty of funds to cover road work this year. Amounts are coming in, pretty much as last year. It's $42,000 versus $41,000. So things are pretty much trending the same as they were last year. And then we have a new fund on page 27. I'm sorry, page 21 first. So water sewer fund, we've talked about that quite a bit this evening in our earlier meeting as we're doing some studies in that fund. At this point, we have net current assets of $1.7 million, which is kind of basically our fund balance. Nothing really to highlight in there at this point this year. And then finally on page 27 is our new fund, that's the infrastructure fund, and that's where now the road work will go through there. All the non-NFT road work will go through the infrastructure fund going forward. And you'll see about $280,000 in cash in that account at this point for retail earnings. That's pretty much all I have. I'll go through the warrants. Any questions before I do that and in the funds?
On page 15, the retained earnings is significantly higher. Why? And where did that extra?
That's just, we haven't spent any money in that fund over the years, over the last year. So that's the revenue is going to come in now. So we have revenue about $20,000 a month, so $240K for the year. So that'll be your increase in the retained earnings.
So last year we had more expenses than this year?
We didn't spend any, we're not spending any money. So we're just basically accumulating all the funds that we're earning and building up our retained earnings. We're spending some this year.
Never got to be brought down with that.
We tend to spend, correct, we tend to do a road project every other year in that fund.
Nice.
And so last year we built up the funds for a year. And we do intend to spend some of that this year, but we'll only spend about half of that fund balance.
Thank you.
It's a good question, yeah. Anybody else?
Maybe I have a question
Sure.
about the operation of how the infrastructure fund works. So as we start a season and we know basically what we want to spend, are we simply just transferring money out of the general fund, or how does the money make its way, and how do we determine how much?
So my understanding, the way it will work each year is that we'll look at the end of the year, the fund balance in the general fund, and then we'll make a decision how much of that should be allocated to road work. Might not be for that year coming up, but it might be the road's okay. We're going to allocate this much to road work. And what that does is it takes that number, those funds out of that fund balance. And so when we do our fund balance calculation, which is kind of how many months we can do of our ordinary expenses, that skews it sometimes because we're building funds up in there to do a big project. But then we're like, whoa, we don't have extra money because we're saving that money. But this sets that aside for road work.
So is that really the true impetus for that, or is this something that we are legally obligated to do, or we thought it was a cleaner way?
A cleaner way,
so
yeah.
that we weren't being misled by these high general fund balances, thinking, whoa, we're loaded here. We can be
Correct.
reckless with our spending because it's really already earmarked for this road work. Is what
Correct.
I'm saying.
Correct.
Great, thanks.
And you can, there's nothing that says that we need the money back in the
Yeah.
general fund, you can put it back.
Right,
But it's by resolution each year, at the end of each year.
great.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate that. Other questions for the
Anybody
treasurer?
else? Okay, we'll go through the warrants, and I typically just pick out some of the unusual ones for any of the trustee Brainer. If you have specific questions, either feel free to email me separately or speak away, because they'll become familiar to you, but if something's unfamiliar, I'm happy to explain it to you at this point as well. So there's just a few on Warren A. There's a couple that keep a township, and those are culvert repairs and concrete curb repairs in the business park. Those are not necessarily, we usually do those, but we don't do them on a regular course, so I'd like to mention those. Vista Court for $25,000, that's the last one under the variable expenses on the Warren A. Vista Corp was our shared, help me for a second, the shared,
It's for the electric aggregation.
thank you. And they sent a $25,000 check erroneously, and so we have now sent it back. So, kind of interesting there. And then,
I hope they're appreciative of that.
yeah.
Did you get a thank you note?
They asked me a question about why they sent it, and they said, oh, it was a mistake. So I sent it back.
Good.
And then under the infrastructure fund, there is a bill for UWall Hamilton for the engineering observation for the road program of $4,295.75. And then on Warren B, there's just a couple of mentioned. Crystal V window cleaning, $1,254.50. It sounds early, but that's for the holiday, half of the holiday season lights, but also for the barn stop lights. We pay half of that now. Decon Computer Consultants, we do prepay that, so that's for the month of August, $1,260. That was just voted earlier tonight by the board, approved that contract. And the last one, water services under the water sewer fund for $1,800. And that is the league survey we talked about earlier in the committee of the whole. That was the invoice for that. I think that's it. I'd be happy to answer questions about any of the invoices. Okay, that's all I have.
Do you want to mention the MFT funds?
Oh, thank you.
Baker?
I didn't get that far. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
I didn't get that far down. Yeah, so that's the first request for the road program, and that's $236,000, just a small one, yeah. $236,504.38, and that is for the first payment request for the 2025 road program. And I think the whole thing was like $343,000, yeah, so it's about 70% done. So the road work this year is being done from the MFT fund, which is a very legally segregated fund. Anything else?
Other questions for the treasurer? Thank you, Peg. You can go back to your spot. Thank you very much. Okay, with that said, Chair would like a motion to approve in block item A, financial statements as B, pay bills in the amount of $230,242.80 as listed on the accounts payable warrant A dated August 5th, 2025. And C, pay bills in the amount of $372,948.35 as listed on the accounts payable warrant B dated August 5th, 2025. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Hayes, thank you.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Perkins, thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brandner?
Yes.
Trustee Hayes?
Yes.
Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Schallman?
Yes.
Trustee Schallmoser?
Yes.
Trustee Van Ryn?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes, thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 9, the administrator's report.
Thank you, President Burke. I just have one item this evening. I just want to welcome Brenda. I look forward to working with you, and it'll be great. That's all I had this evening.
And I would just add thank you very much to you and our clerk who assisted in some onboarding and training, right?
Excellent job.
And Becky here. Thank you. That's a formidable team right there, right? Like, you're getting it right from the best right there. So and I appreciate that. And that's really helpful. And it sounds like it's really helpful and get you up to speed and running. So, and welcome again. And thank you, Sharon. Item 10, the clerk's report. Rebecca.
So I have an item regarding the sworn list of tenants, so that I've been talking about for the past couple months that I've been working on it. Yesterday, Monday, I sent out 47 citations for sworn list of tenants. So we have or 37, I'm sorry, not 47, 37, still a very large number. And so hopefully, people become compliant, we're just going to move on. We don't want to give them any fines, we don't want to cite them, so we're just hoping that in the coming years, they just, are responsive and they just turn in what they're supposed to turn in. The sworn list of tenants is essentially, we don't have transfer stamps, so it's a good way to know who's in buildings, but also it helps with my business licensing, so who's in your building and making sure that we have, anyone who's, a special use, that they're getting a special use, even if it's after the fact, or, we just want to know. They need to be getting their fire inspections, all that good stuff. So that was a large project that I finished this week, so that was exciting. And I did recently go to the summer seminar for my first group, so thank you very much for always being so supportive and letting me attend those because it was so informative. I came back to the office and I was like, oh my gosh, we have all these things. I know all this about cybersecurity and about, closed session, requirements and all that good stuff. And so we had a staff meeting and we brought it up and it was really good discussion. So it really helps the whole office, I feel like, when either of us or anyone in the office attends. So thank you for letting me do that and being supportive.
Thank you. And we love that you're getting educated and picking up all that wisdom and knowledge. And we fully support your continuing education as anyone on the staff. So thank you for that. And just a note about the other work that you're doing on the business license process, because I'm very close to that. It's near and dear to my heart. I know that's not sexy work, but it needed to be done, and you're doing it, and I appreciate that. And we're learning a lot about what's happening in our business community, or is it happening in our business community? And we're finding a lot of unique situations out there, but that's the whole idea, which is why the business licensing practice is even there. We need to know who's doing business here, what they're doing, that they're compliant with our rules, regulations, ordinances, and the other things to make sure that they're safe, operating safely and legally. What we're learning, what you're discovering is part of that. And some business owners may take a little offense to that, but honestly, in the long run, we think that they'll benefit from having a working relationship with us where we know who they are, we know what they're doing, and we can be way more helpful to them and streamline these processes and make it easier for them to do business here in Lake Barrington, not harder. So thank you. Moving right along, we're moving to item 11, which is the reports of the standing committees, of which the first of those would be branding and communications. Trustee Van Ryn.
Thank you, President Burke. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to Trustee Brainerd. Great to have you on board with us. And also a reminder, we're at 292 followers on LinkedIn. We're 8 away from reaching a new milestone, so we'll have a lot of content from tonight of, the oaths that were taken here, and so look forward to more of you joining us on LinkedIn. That's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for Trustee Van Ryan? The Economic Development, I have no report for tonight, so we'll go to C, External Relations. I also have no report on that tonight. D, Finance, Human Resources Administration, Trustee Hayes.
Only really have, we weren't able to conclude the committee hall, but the employee manual update, remember, it's just about refreshing mostly the education reimbursement. So hopefully next month we'll have a chance to vote on changes. So if you have an opportunity to know we'll look to do that. Shy of that, I don't have anything to add today.
Thank you. Questions for Trustee Hayes? All right. Next item, E, Roads and Infrastructure, Trustee Shaw.
Thank you, President Burke. Rather slow report. They're going to be doing the reclamite out of West subdivision for this year, starting next on the 12th. Rain, if it rains that day, it'll be bumped out to the 9th to the 12th, and after that might be a few weeks after. So that will conclude our season. A very good job well done, and good communication this year. No complaints.
Thank you, Trustee Shaw. Is there any questions? No? If not, we'll move to Public Safety, Trustee Shaw.
Thank you, President Burke, and also welcome to new trustee Brent Grader. We have part of our condo board. Brent is also on the condo 7 board at Lake Barrington Shores, and we have one board member, Marcia Shear, back there, and a former board member, David Zanvita, and a very active, involved new member of the community, Sue Gina. So thank you for joining us and welcoming Brenda today.
Yes, thanks for being here. We appreciate you guys.
Making the attendance at our meetings more than it usually is.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we got this many people in here, they were carrying torches and pitchforks, and they were after our rides over Speedway on Route 14. But subsequent to that, I've seen them all buying gas and groceries over there. It's all good, so we're not worried about it. So thank you for being
You
here.
didn't come here to protest, that's good. As far as public safety, Lieutenant Kirk, fresh from the Lake County Fair. His duty was the Lake County Fair, and I have to say it went as well as Lollapalooza. I don't think there were that many.
It was even better than Lollapalooza, so I hope we were there. So, it was very hot and very dusty, so as you would expect from the county fair. But as far as Lake Barrington is concerned, no major incidents over the last month. Coming up, seems hard to believe, but school will be back in session, so we'll be starting our school drills with our community resource team. I believe the only school we do in the area is North Barrington School at 59 in Miller there, so we'll be doing our drill there. I'll also just say that everybody here in Lake Barrington, I think the citizens are the eyes for the police, so if you do see something at a bus stop or just something that doesn't seem unusual, maybe a traffic complaint, somebody's driving around a bus that's stopped, please do pick up your phone and give us a call so we can address those issues in a timely manner. So other than that, if anybody has anything.
I got 2 questions.
Yes, sir.
Some communities have had problems with electronic scooters and electronic bicycles. Does that become a problem in our area and in Lake County?
I'm not aware of any issues specific to Lake Barrington, but I know some communities are addressing that, and I believe the state laws covering it, so there are some communities that are actually banning those scooters and electric bikes. So
They're not supposed to be driven on roadways, all right?
So, if I may.
yes.
In January 1st, 2025, new legislation went into effect that essentially prohibits electric scooter use, the low-speed electric scooters, which you see lots of kids on, by anyone under the age of 18.
And so it also provides that municipalities, local governments, that they are authorized to regulate these. And so they're essentially not allowed on village streets unless you authorize them by a village ordinance that authorizes their use. And then you wouldn't be able to make it less restrictive by having, allowing 8-year-olds to use the electric scooters that they are using. It's a matter of, I think, a lot of communities are trying to educate people about the new law so that they're aware. I don't think a lot of the law enforcement are going around and bringing 8-year-olds into traffic court. Some home rule municipalities have passed ordinances that further restrict or put some responsibility on the parents of minors who are utilizing them, having a small fine so they're kind of aware of it, or holding on to the scooter until a parent comes against them. Some are not enforcing it, but there is a new law, and there are municipalities that are currently, you'll see in the news that different municipalities are trying to educate, put out more public education campaign about that's used and what Illinois law allows and doesn't allow.
It just did, I was wondering whether that's become a problem, and I understand there's more and more use, and I've seen a lot of, they don't do 5 miles an hour, or some of them can go pretty fast, so it can't be a problem.
I am electric club.
I was just gonna say.
But you have a driver's license.
No, it'd be interesting though.
Oh, no, there's problems.
Could you get a copy of that law?
Sure.
Just share it, just to look at it. I was.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. We've had a number of questions from different municipal clients. I'm happy to put a more explanatory memo that's on.
I think it'd be very helpful. It's interesting, this conversation came up at the dinner table at my house because we've seen more and more of this in the news, and then I was uncertain even about the answer to the question about here in Lake Barrington or even in the broader Lake County in terms of where you can, where you can't, is there an age restriction or what other restrictions are there. So I think that would be really helpful. Thank you. Thanks for bringing that.
I think don't buy stock in the electric scooter companies.
No, I have not.
Do not.
Not going to.
Sounds like a bit clash.
But related to that, I guess my question is, if I heard you correctly, then minimum age of 18, and then only allowed on streets if we choose to allow it?
Correct.
So Illinois today does not, but we can choose to, or the opposite, or they do and we can choose not to?
So we can opt in to allow it.
Opt into allotment, but we don't. So at this point, we have not done that, have we?
Correct. And so until you do, they're essentially prohibited on public roads.
Okay. So if that is the case, are these same devices allowed on sidewalks or trails or where are
the sidewalks and
or would it be the same as a bicycle, as it would be treated like a bicycle or street? Well, even bikes are allowed.
so there are other restrictions as to bicycles are treated differently from the low-speed e-scooters. They're defined differently in the vehicle code. They're defined differently from electric bikes. They're defined differently from mopeds, from ATVs. And it got, the legislation was not as comprehensive as it could have been to answer a lot of questions that people have now following the passage of this legislation. So we've addressed it with other municipalities to make sure all that's in, because there are a lot of caveats to it in terms of how, the low-speed electric scooters are really only regulated up to a certain speed, and then after that, a lot of them go faster. And so, you'll see a lot more other regulations being passed, ordinances in home rule municipalities. You have a lot more authority to do what you want and kind of control that in a manner that best, serves the parent.
I think it would be great. I think it would really inform us because it's maybe something that we need to be able to, or at least face with that decision with the more information that we have on it. Better. Might have to slow guys like Trustee Hayes down. When he gets going down.
Frequently on this trail back here, so yes. I'm over the age of 60.
And you
That
can't,
brings up a whole other issue.
you can't run on a Lake County path.
That'd be up to the Forest Reserve to determine that.
Yeah.
The legislation also authorizes the forest preserves to regulate their trail systems within that.
Yeah, Lake County does not prohibit electric bikes on their trails.
All right. Appreciate it. Nothing else?
I would thank Becky for that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm taking up enough time. Thank you. Elevator report.
Thank you, Trustee Schaller and Lieutenant Turek. Thank you as always for being here, looking after us, and for the broader Lake County Sheriff who did great work for us. And we're very lucky to have you serving and protecting our community, so thanks very much. Last but certainly not least, Open Space Special Event Trustee Perkins.
Thank you, President Hoover. So I don't have a whole lot, just our concert, our Sunset Serenade last, what was it, July, I guess, right? We're in August already. Was successful. Successfully, not a lot of bugs and mosquitoes, which was lovely. Thank you, Sharon. I feel that there were more people than the first one, I believe, yeah. So that was great. We've got another one coming up here August 21st, Thursday, August 21st. It's right after the day after school starts, so, you know, what to think. But 6:30 to 8:30, you know, I think all of us are old enough to go, so we don't have to be worried about school the next day, right? So there's that, and then also October 4th, our Stomp and Brews coming up. We've got lots of things planned for that, lots of fun things planned. Rebecca has been doing enormous amounts of work on that and getting things scheduled and sharing as well. So, yeah. So we're really looking forward to that, and we are. And then we've been also working with the veterans of LBS, with Mr. Thompson, Mr. Jim Thompson, our former trustee, and we are in the works of planning a special event for next 4th of July at Friar Farm. So that is something that we're looking forward to. If anyone has any suggestions of different events, or different things that we can do there, activities. You know, we've got a lot of the staples like Touch Truck, so, and many others. So if anyone has a brainstorm on that, please contact Rebecca, Sharon, or myself. But yes, that's just something we're looking forward to for next year. So, and that is the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Trustee Perkins? We're excited about all those events. Hoping for great weather again for the fall. Okay. That completes the reports of the standing committees. There is no old business. We've already covered the ordinances earlier in the evening. There are no resolutions. There's no new business. Anyone here from the public that would like to address the village board at this point in time on non-agenda items? I see not. No need